everyone, my name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated reads of 2021. So I have decided to do my anticipated reads video a little bit differently than how I've done it in the past. Usually I just focus on the books that are coming out at the beginning of the year, and I don't really pay attention to the books coming out in the later months. To switch it up this year, I thought it would be kind of fun to pick one anticipated release from every single month of the year. That way you have a book to look forward to every single month. There are obviously going to be 12 books on this list, and obviously there are so many more that I am super excited for, but I just had to pick one from every month, and I really tried to pick books that I haven't really seen talked about a lot, so you may get some new recommendations and just some new things to look forward to. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first book on my list is one that has already come out, and that would be Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This book came out January 5th, and it is perfect for everyone who loves Greek mythology, who grew up loving Percy Jackson, and it's supposed to be a modern take on classic Greek mythology. There is some kind of competition happening between some disgraced gods, and it also follows a girl named Lore who seeks revenge on a god who did her harm in the past. I don't know much beyond that. Obviously the cover alludes to some kind of story having to do with Medusa. I know Athena is involved in some way, and I know the Athena and Medusa story kind of intertwines pretty tightly, so I'm super excited to see how that all plays out. My anticipated read for February should be of no surprise to absolutely anyone because it is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, and that will be released February 16th. If you have not read the ACOTAR trilogy by Sarah J. Maas, first of all, where have you been? And second of all, it follows a girl named Feyre Arcanon who is kind of torn between the human world and the Fae world. The first book is kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it evolves so much more from there. It is such an intricate fantasy with Fae and magic, and it's just wonderful. And this new book, A Court of Silver Flames, follows Feyre's sister Nesta. It has enemies to lovers, it's high fantasy, and I am super excited for it. So if you want to read this series, I highly recommend you do so. It is all amazing. I love Sarah J. Maas, and I'm super excited for this continuation of the ACOTAR books. For March, I have one that I am super excited for, and that would be Lost in the Neverwood by Aiden Thomas. I absolutely adore Aiden Thomas. He is the author of the Cemetery Boys book that I read back in October, and that was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and it did not disappoint. And this one seems to be some kind of Peter Pan retelling, so you bet I am super excited for it. Basically, it follows this town where children keep going missing. Wendy was one of these children, but she is one of the few who have returned. So the people of the town are all looking to her for answers. This book comes out March 23rd, I believe, and I am so excited to see another book from Aiden Thomas. I loved his writing, I loved his characters and his storytelling, and I'm just super excited to see that all applied to this book and to this premise. So Lost in the Neverwood is something I am very excited for. In April, I am super excited to read Witches Steeped in Gold by Cianan Smart. Or is it Cianan Smart? I am so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Witches Steeped in Gold follows two witches who are kind of from rival clans, or I believe they're from like different social classes, and basically enemies, but when a common threat to their coven comes up, they have to learn to work together to beat it back. This is a Jamaican-inspired fantasy, which is something I have not seen before, so I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be magical and inventive, and you know, I love witches and covens, and I think this book is just going to be really fantastic. It has gotten a bunch of buzz up until this point, so I think we're all very excited to see how it turns out. Witches Steeped in Gold will be out April 20th, so just a few days before my birthday, which is super exciting, and yeah, I'm super excited for it. For May, I have my first romance on this list, and that would be Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. And that is be coming out on May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. Just some Star Wars humor. Meet Cute Diary is about a boy named Noah who has been running this blog called the Meet Cute Diary that talks about trans happy ever afters. But the problem is all the stories on his blog are fake. When someone emails him threatening to expose this information, Noah meets Drew, who agrees to fake date him in order to make all the stories real. and to save his blog. In the end, Noah will have to choose between what he believes to be the rules of love or for once in his life going off book. I think this is gonna be just a really sweet and wholesome trans love story. I'm super excited for it to come out. The summary looks amazing. The cover is adorable, and I've heard really good things about Emery Lee's writing. So this is just one I think will just be such a wholesome book to read in May, and I'm super looking forward to it. In June, I am really looking forward to reading Blood Like Magic, and that is by Liesl Sambury. Blood Like Magic will be out June 15th, and it follows a witch who has been told that in order to save her coven, she has to find her true love and kill him. The problem is this witch has never fallen in love, and therefore she signs up for a matchmaking service, but the guy she gets paired with, she has nothing in common with, she doesn't actually like him very much, so basically she has to figure out a way to fall in love with this boy in order to kill him. I think this looks to be such a fun enemies to romance. It kind of reminds me of Bone Crier's Moon. I don't remember who that's by though, but it has kind of the same thing about killing your true love. So I think this book will be even more interesting because we have to watch the main character actually actively try to fall in love with this boy while knowing in the back of her head she eventually has to kill him. I think that'll make for some really interesting dynamics and scenes, and I'm just really looking forward to this book to come out. I think it's just all the drama that I really need in my life. So very much looking forward to this June book. Once again, Blood Like Magic will be out June 15th. All right, we have made it to July, over halfway through the year, and the book I'm looking forward to coming out in July is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This will be out July 20th, and it is being marketed as a book for fans of ACOTAR and The Cruel Prince. It follows a girl named Bree who hates the Fae, but when her sister is kidnapped by the king of the Unseelie court, she has no choice but to go there and bargain for her sister's freedom. The Unseelie king will grant her freedom on the condition that she steals something from the Seelie court. There is romance, there's fantasy, there's Fae, and you know, I love Fae realms. I love this kind of fantasy stuff. I think I'm going to eat up this story, and it really does sound like a nice combination of The Cruel Prince and The Court of Thorns and Roses. So super excited to see how that all plays out. It seems like we're gonna have a little bit of enemies to lovers in there, which you know I am a sucker for. So overall, I'm just real excited for this book to come out. I think it's gonna be fabulous. So the August book on my list is one that I am absolutely stoked for, and I haven't seen it talked about anywhere. I literally just came across it when I was scrolling through the Goodreads August 2021 releases list, and this is just such a cool premise. I'm so excited, and it's called Vampires, Hearts, and Other Dead Things by Margie Fuston. This book will be coming out August 24th. Basically, this is kind of like a young adult urban fantasy about a world that knows vampires exist, but kind of driven them back into the darkness. We follow a girl named Victoria who her and her father have this really great relationship. They love looking for vampires and they love spending time together, but when her father is diagnosed with a serious condition, Victoria decides to take a trip to New Orleans to find a vampire and convince him to save her father. This just seems like such a wholesome book that deals with love and loss and romance. I am a sucker for a vampire human romance. I'm super excited for this one. It just seems like such a cute book. I think it's going to be sad, I think it's going to be meaningful, and you just have no idea how excited I am for this book to come out, because I honestly, like, the second I saw it, I was like, this is going to be something special. So very excited for this to come out in a few months. So we are on to September, and I am very excited about this next book because it is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. If the name Stephanie Garber sounds familiar, it is because that she is the author of the Caraval series that I absolutely love, and this book is like a spin-off of that series, kind of involves one of the same characters, and I'm so excited for it. So this book follows Evangeline Fox, who has just learned that the love of her life is getting married. So she makes a deal with one of the Fates, named the Prince of Hearts, to help her stop the wedding. But you don't just make a deal with Jax, the Prince of Hearts. No, he wants something in exchange. So in exchange for him helping her stop this wedding, Jax requests 3 kisses. Jax is one of my favorite characters in the Caraval series, so I'm super excited for him to finally have his own series. It looks amazing. I've heard that you don't need to read Caraval in order to read this book, but I think it'd be helpful just to know that character more. And the Caraval series is great, so what are you doing if you haven't read it yet? So super looking forward to this book. I think it's gonna be amazing. When Stephanie released it, I like jumped up and down and I had tears streaming down my face because I love her writing and I love her characters, and I'm so excited that my baby Jax is finally getting his own story. So really looking forward to this one. Have I said when it's going to be released? I don't think so. So Once Upon a Broken Heart will be released September 28th. We're almost done, I promise you guys, because next up is the October book that I'm super excited for, and this one is a sequel in a series, so this is the second book, and that would be Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Moniscalco, which is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. Kingdom of the Cursed is going to be coming out October 26th, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary of the first book in the series as to not spoil anything. So basically, Kingdom of the Wicked follows a witch named Amelia after her twin sister died, decides to summon one of the princes of hell to help her solve the murder. But you don't summon wrath without some consequences. Even though he seems as determined to stop these murders as she is, you can never be too careful when dealing with a prince of hell. This is the second book in that series. I absolutely loved Kingdom of the Wicked. It was such a great read. Highly recommend you check it out. It's just like that kind of nice, dark, creepy, witchy fantasy that I've been needing recently, and I love Carrie Moniscalco's other books, the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, so if you liked those books and want to read her writing again, highly recommend this series, and once again, that sequel will be coming out October 26th. This next book is, I think, kind of a romance, but also supposed to be really sad, and that would be You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thau. This book follows 17-year-old Julie, whose life gets thrown off track by the unexpected death of her boyfriend Sam. In a moment of weakness, just to hear his voice one more time, Julie calls his number, but is surprised when it is actually Sam who picks up. This book seems to be about love and loss and getting a second chance to say goodbye. I think it is going to be sad, I think it is going to be heart-wrenching, but sometimes you need a book that kind of pulls at your heartstrings, and sometimes you need a book that's going to give you a good cry. So I'm very much looking forward to this book. I think it's going to be sad but wonderful. I've seen a few people talking about it on here, but overall, I am very excited to pick this one up. You've Reached Sam is going to be out November 2nd, so very early in the month, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Alright, you guys, we are on the last book of this anticipated reads video, and that last book is one I am very excited for. Like, I was so excited when I saw this on the December 2021 list, and that would be If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzalez and Cale Dietrich. If This Gets Out is coming December 7th, and it follows 2 members of the most popular boy band in America named Ruben and Zach, who kind of turn to each other for comfort during their world tour, but that friendship turns into something more, and now they have to decide how they're going to go about handling their relationship in the spotlight when their managers have made it very clear that they are not going to support them. I love a rock star romance. I think that this is going to be such a sweet book. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Red, White, and Royal Blue, just because you have this couple who love each other so much, but all these different forces around them are keeping them from being out publicly. Ruben and Zach seem like such sweet boys, and I think setting up their romance in a boy band setting is going to be super interesting, just seeing them in the limelight all the time. I just love a rock star romance so much, and I think this book is going to be great. I have not heard anything about this book until I found it on Goodreads, so I'm super excited to see what people think about it soon when the arcs start going out. If anyone's listening from above, I would love an arc of this book. But yeah, I'm super excited for this book, and once again, If This Gets Out will be coming out December 7th. And those are all the books on my anticipated reads list for 2021. As I said earlier, there are so many other books that I am super excited about this year. These are just 12 of them. There are so many more. But I hope you got some recommendations from this video. I hope you maybe found a new book you're super excited for. If you guys have any anticipated read recommendations for me that are coming out in the year of 2021, leave them on down below. I love going through them and I love looking through all your recommendations on Goodreads. It is so fun for me. I also love receiving your comments. They just make my heart whole. So if you guys liked this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!